Patreon. It's me, James, with
Andrew, this guy.
Yeah, that guy right there. We are doing a segment just for you guys who have been supporting us all this time. It really means a lot to us. And we've decided 2019 we're going to ramp up Patreon's exclusive content. Andrew and I, we're going to be going back and forth on the Unleashed stuff. Right, Andrew? You agree to that?
I agree,
right?
and I also agree it's about time. I've been paying out the nose for Patreon, James. And what do I have to show for it? Nothing.
Exactly. And you are also going to be doing your documentary is going to be getting on its way as well. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're putting full steam on that. And we really want cloning around to be more of a thing because we got clones coming. There's more clones. I think
Clone
this
is
year.
coming. Star Wars. Yeah, absolutely. The Star Wars Celebration, of course, is coming in April. Just a few months away. 2 months to go. Like 2 months now.
Yeah.
Actually, like 2 months. 2 months now, basically, is Star Wars Celebration Chicago, Sweet Home Chicago, the Windy City. So what we're going to do is we've decided, Andrew and I, right now, I have to tell Brock. He'll probably disagree with both of these ideas, but whatever. We've decided that we're going to do a couple segments. So Unleashed is obviously one of them. When we're going to do this Never Tell Me the Odds spin-off show where we're going to just talk about 4 odds. There'll be 2 people on this, whether it's me and Andrew, Brock and Andrew, or Andrew and Rob, or me and Rob, whatever. There'll be 4 people on this show. Probably never anyone with Rob, but it'll probably always be me and Andrew. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 odds each. It's just the Never Tell Me the Odds segment from the show, but kind of an expanded one. Now, if you guys have odds you want to hear us talk about, give it to us. However, if you want us to talk about your odds on the actual Rebel Scum podcast, which will still be on YouTube for everybody to see, let me know the specifics of that. But we're happy to do whatever. The other thing we're going to start doing is a headcanon show where everyone has theories. We used to do theories. Andrew, you remember that. We used to do theories all the time on the channel. When we were very young and we had like 200 subscribers, we were like, wow, you know what's really easy to get subscribers? Theories. Yeah, let's do theories. Because we weren't really into the theories, but we had ideas like, oh, you know, it'd be cool this.
Yeah,
be cool
we were
so
naive and reckless, and we were like, guys, I think Rey's gonna have earrings in the next movie, and we were usually wrong.
Okay, well, let's not ruin our next video, which is James thinks Rey's gonna have earrings. No, but the other show you guys are gonna get, Andrew and I will be wearing the exact same piece of clothing because we're not changing. Probably tomorrow, you guys will be getting the Headcanon show, where we're just gonna talk about like. It won't be like, oh, it'll be things like, you know what, this is something that I think is a plausibility, and we'll talk about it, and we want to hear what you guys have to say about that.
Sounds good.
Right. All right, it does sound good. Well, you don't have a choice. I asked you to be on, and you said you would. So you don't know if it sounds good or not yet.
Just off screen, I actually have Erin pointing a gun at my head, and she's telling me to say everything that you say sounds good. So...
Actually, Erin would never do that. If anyone knows her, she would be the complete opposite. Let's start the very first spin-off, Never Tell Me the Odds show. Andrew Fantasia, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Oh, wait. Before you go, buy this book. Okay, now you go.
Okay. So my first odd was, what do you think the odds are that on Episode 9 we get a Stormtrooper armor color that we have never seen before? Because here's the thing, James. I don't know if you've been watching Resistance.
I have not.
Okay. Well,
but I know what you're going towards. I know.
You know who I'm going towards? There's a guy by the name of Commander Pyre. He's basically a gold Phasma. And when I saw that, I got really excited. And we have that guy from the Phasma book, that guy by the name of Cardinal, who's basically a red Phasma. And all these characters are really cool, and they exist in the First Order, but they're not in any of the movies. So Phasma is, as far as we know, dead. So what do you think the odds are now that we're getting other different colored armor for these troopers come Part 9?
I'll say this. I will say that Phasma, I really like Phasma. I mean, the character, the problem with Phasma was how she ended in The Force Awakens. Every other aspect of Phasma works perfectly. Like, she's just a character. She's a head of a division in the First Order. Unfortunately, she brings down the shields because I don't know. She's a wuss.
Well, like me currently, she has a weapon pointed at her head, and she has to do what she's told.
Yeah, but if you were brainwashed, now look, I know the book does a lot to make everything make a lot of sense. However, let's ex-nay the book on this argument, on this point here, not argument. On this point, though, if you're brainwashed from a child, you will take one for the team and swallow that pill. and you will kill yourself and not let the shields go down to take the ship down with it. You know what I mean? Like that is Phasma's weakness, is that one moment. And if that moment doesn't happen, I think the character is a lot stronger. But and that's why I think the Boba Fett versus Phasma is why Boba Fett will live on, I think, longer than Phasma in a lot of ways, is just because he's just, I mean, he has a terrible death, but he's not about anything other than just looking cool, where Phasma, that's kind of what they were going for, but then they made her about something. And Star Wars, the characters that we cling to, like Traitor and whatnot, are characters that really don't need any specific purpose. They just need to be cool for whatever reason. But anyway, I love it. Like Phasma, I'm like super cool looking character. I totally would watch more with Phasma if there was an opportunity presented to me. And so that's why I'm going to say 61%. Because someone like me would be like, oh my God, there's a green version. I will buy that die cast. I will buy that Black Series. I will buy whatever because it looks super cool. In fact, one of the only action figures I got aside from Kylo Ren from The Force Awakens was a Captain Phasma. I have since given it to a friend of mine, Kid, because he was like, his eyes were wide open. He's like, and I was like, just take it. You know what? I have the die. I'm like, just take it, whatever. And he loved it. And he loved it because, and he didn't even know who it was. Just thought that this character looked super cool. Now, when I told this 6-7-year-old boy that it was a female, he was slightly less excited. Well, he's a boy. Like, that's how boys are and girls are. That's how kids are. We can all pretend that they're not, but that's how they are. But he still loved the toy. So that's why I'm going to go 61%. What about you, Andrew Fantasia?
See, you bring up such a good point about the toys, man. Like, as soon as I saw Commander Pyre, if that's his name, just running around that beautiful cel-shaded Resistance world, I was just like, man, that's a toy right there. Like, what's this guy? Where has he been? Is he dead by the time Force Awakens happens? I don't know. Where's he been, though? And the thought of, a nice Black Series of that guy just, ooh. So I'm going to go 72% because I think that Episode 9 is going to be, if nothing else, very First Order heavy. And without Phasma around, I doubt we'll see those Executioner Troopers again because I think they were just kind of like a one-time thing. So I don't think we'll see them. So I feel like some kind of new trooper is going to have to come to the surface. And I'm hoping that means like a cool new, not just armor design, but armor color is in the works. So I think it's more than likely. I'm going to go with the around 72% there.
Awesome. All right, my next thought. The odds that we will see a trooper without a helmet at some point in Episode 9.
Now, does that include, like, Rey dresses up as a trooper? No? Okay.
No. It's got to be like a First Order trooper. Because, I think I've made it known that one of my favorite things is, like, Luke and Han when they're dressed as troopers and they take the helmet off.
Yeah.
And Finn when he takes the helmet off. That's one of my favorite things, is seeing our heroes dressed as stormtroopers. One of my other favorite things might be seeing a stormtrooper without his helmet on. I don't know yet, but what do you think of the odds of that happening are?
I'm going to say 24%. I feel like there could be a scene at the tail end of the movie where the First Order is, whether it's destroyed or whether Kylo Ren's killed or something bad happens to the First Order and they're just like, well, now what? We're screwed. And, one by one, maybe some of these troopers start, taking these helmets off and being like, oh man, we were so wrong about this. That Red Lobster that I burned down this morning because Kylo Ren told me to do it. I probably shouldn't have done that. That probably was not the nicest thing to do. I should probably pick a different career. I think they're going to start having some more Finn-like moments. So I can totally see that happening at some point towards the end.
That'd be kind of cool if the First Order turns on Kylo and the First Order. I'm gonna go 12.5. I think they just won't do it. I have no other answer for that other than I just think they won't do it. The end. What's your next odd?
Okay, my next odd is something that I'm actually very disappointed about. I'm disappointed.
Oh, well, great.
Because I wanted this to be a question back in December. It feels like a billion years ago now. I did those predictions for episode 9, and we kind of had that little roundtable, you, myself, and Brock, and we made our episode 9 predictions. I asked you a bunch of very specific questions, and you guys gave me your answers. And
the correct answers. We gave you the correct.
Well, I gave mostly the correct answers. A lot of yours were, I don't know. But
you can find those correct answers in Side Scroller, available now on Amazon.
Yes, you can. And I believe that video, I forget what that video was called, but you can find it on the channel as well. I think it's just called Episode 9 Predictions. But
yeah,
one of the...
That sounds like a very very clickbait.
It does, yeah. That's chasing the algorithm. But one of the questions that I should have asked, and I completely forgot to ask, this morning I thought of it and I was like, oh my god, okay, this has to be my odd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what they call in the business, kids, they call this a double whammy. All right, I'm going to give you my answer to that question while also giving you my odd for you to think over, James. So the question is, who is going to be the one to say, I have a bad feeling about this? And my answer, what do you think the odds are of me being correct? Because I think it's going to be General Hux.
Okay. So my odd is on you saying the wrong answer.
What do you think the odds are that it's Hux?
Let me just start off by saying that BB-8 was... I didn't really enjoy BB-8 saying it, to be honest with you. I thought when The Force Awakens came out, they asked a question on Collider Jedi Council many, many moons ago. And somebody on there, it might have been Harloff or Campy, I'm not sure who, said, oh, couldn't you see J.J. Abrams making it Chewie that says it? And then Han would be like, oh, you always have a bad feeling. And I was like, yeah, that would work. Whereas BB-8 doesn't even get it. Like, the response is kind of like, well, like, for me, that was a cop-out. So anyway, I just want to get that out. Hux. It could very well be Hux. This is my problem with giving this any kind of anything, is that I don't know what Hux's role is going to be in all of this. And I do like the idea that Hux sees the path that Kylo's taken them on, and he's like, I've got a bad feeling about this. And then maybe Kylo just chokes him out. I'm going to go... Are we allowed to go full Brox on this spin-off of Never Tell Me the Odds?
Of course we are.
Full Brock.
You have to make a big flashy graphic that says full Brock for this show.
Full Brock. I have to go full Brock because it's very plausible. I mean, look, as of this recording, who knows, tomorrow we might know. Before this goes up, there's a chance we'll know the title and we'll see a trailer from this movie. But as of this recording of this, we have not seen anything. So I don't, even if we see a teaser, even a full trailer in October or whatever, we still may not know what Hux's role is in all of this. I do like the one theory from before The Force Awakens where Domhnall Gleeson was playing First Order captain or commander, whatever, general, but he was Luke Skywalker's son undercover. So I'm sticking with that. So I'm gonna go full Brock on yours. So are you 100% on it?
I'm going 98.5%. I feel like it's just because, okay, it's the last one, allegedly. It's the end of this saga. We're getting to the end. I think it would be so fitting if, because this is the end and we're wrapping everything up, for the first time ever, we have a bad guy saying that line, because it's always been a good guy. And it would be kind of very telling thematically, because I assume Star Wars is the kind of series where the good guys are going to win. It's just a matter of how. So for the bad guy to be the one who starts having a bad feeling, then that sort of tells us, even if it's just subconsciously, like, yeah, things are finally turning around. We're going to get our happy ending. It's going to, the bad guys are finally getting what's coming to them. So that's why I went with Hux. I don't see Kylo saying it. I feel like it's a very Hux kind of thing. I feel like that would get a laugh as well as be a fun moment.
But I think Poe or Finn.
That's who you're going. I was just about to ask who you think it's going to be. You say Poe or Finn?
No, I like your Hux idea. I think Poe and Finn are very plausible as well. Unless they cheapen it like they did with BB-8, where they're just like, a Porg said it.
Yeah.
Why did what? Look, if it's Hux, I'm totally 100% down with it.
Same here.
All right, last odd. Ready? The odds of the final shot of the Skywalker saga being the Millennium Falcon flying off either into space or flying off of Tatooine into space. Wait, let's scratch Tatooine. Just a shot of the Millennium Falcon flying off in the distance, piloted by Lando Calrissian, perhaps with Rey Skywalker. We don't know, but Lando will be aboard that ship. Maybe with Chewie, unless he gets killed, which will be an odd for another day. What do you think about that?
So the odds of the final shot being Millennium Falcon. That's a good question, man. I hadn't even thought of that final shot.
Here's my thing. Either you destroy the ship or you acknowledge that it is the most Star Wars thing other than C-3PO, other than R2-D2. It's the most Star Wars thing you've got. So for me, I would end it with R2.
Mm-hmm.
I would end it with the droids we started it with.
That would be very nice. And I've said before, a year ago, that the final shot of Last Jedi feels like it's the final shot of everything. So I keep thinking of like something like that for the end of 9. But I'm going to go, in terms of specifically the Falcon, I'll say that there's a 45% chance that that's the final shot. I feel like it would be a powerful shot, but seeing people's faces would be more powerful. That's why I'm not quite going full Brock with it. I feel like Rey's face, or like you're saying, which I love, 3PO and R2, that's dope. I really like that idea. Maybe it's the two of them just looking at a sunset or something, or just something a bit more personal than the ship, as much as we all love the ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1.7% because I love the idea. Like, the Falcon needs a farewell. Yeah. I don't want it to get blown up or destroyed. I want Lando to fly off in it. Like, he's the one that started with it. I want him to end with it. So I like that. But you did that on Unleashed on Palpatine, and somebody commented, nobody knows where this quote from J.J. Abrams came, where he said it's going to combine all nine films. And I can't find the quote anymore, but I'm pretty sure we all saw that quote, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was a real legit quote. Whether or not it's a legit quote, I really think ending it with the droids, especially now that Luke is dead and Han is dead and Leia, I mean, Carrie Fisher's gone, so you're limited on what you can do with that. The saga started off with the droids. I mean, arguably with Vader, I guess you could argue, but it started off with the droids. The droids kind of brought us on this journey, the Skywalker saga journey, and I think, and R2 is so embedded with Luke. Like, he's with Luke. He's with, we see the Jedi Temple get destroyed, and he's with Luke there, and he closes down and has the map to Luke, and it's just I think the way Abrams respects the original trilogy more than anything, I think you can see him being like, let's end this with something to do with the droids. Mm-hmm. I don't know what. So I'm gonna go. What did I say? 1.7, 1.12, something low. I'm gonna low, but I think the Falcon will get a farewell.
Or maybe Abrams will end it like The Shining, where Rey's walking through the palace in Naboo, and she walks past a picture with a bunch of people, and they zoom in slowly, and Rey is just in the picture in black and white, and then that's it.
Well, I've never seen The Shining, so thanks for ruining it, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, you saw Ready Player One. It's pretty much the same thing.
I have, but I've not seen. I actually haven't seen The Shining.
I'm sorry. Trust me, you'll like the cinematography. It's worth it alone for that. Here's a bonus one for you, a little one though. Do you think if this is truly the end, we'll see the words "the end" before we see directed by J.J. Abrams?
It's interesting. Part of me is like, that'd be nice. Part of me is like, don't do it. I'm not a huge fan of the end anymore. Mm-hmm. And if it is the end, then how do you make 10? And I know they're like, we're not going to make 10. And everyone's like, they shouldn't make 10. But at some point, don't you think, like, we weren't going to get episode 7. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, isn't someone going to be like, maybe we should do 10?
Or what if, what if instead of the end, it's a black and white image of Hux, and he looks at the camera and he's got a single tear, and it just says Finn.
Or it just says, I've got a bad feeling about this. and then the credits roll and it says, All these characters will be back in episodes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm going to go 49%. Pretty high.
Yeah.
Pretty high.
I think maybe 20% on that one. It'd be nice.
It's probably 0%. It's
probably
zero. Let's be honest. It's probably below a 0%. It's a good one though. I mean, it's
it'd be a nice, confident little.
What if it ended with
everything? It would just feel.
What if it ended with a crawl?
I was thinking that actually while we were talking. I see the end happening before I see a crawl happening because it's such a slow, sort of whimpering way to end a movie as opposed to like a. Bah-bah! So I could see maybe like the word "the end" kind of rising up into view like the crawl, but I don't think it will end with a crawl. No.
I think we got to go back and look at a lot of those 1920s serials and see how they ended their runs. Oh, they didn't. They probably just got canceled, so nobody knows. Or they just converted to TV, so who knows?
Every run ended with just like a commercial telling you to buy war bonds.
Yeah. All right, that is all for this Never Tell Me the Odds. Andrew, thanks. This was a lot of fun.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.